So C-Mange says, what is the symbolism of naming after something? Children, cities, and places are often named after an influential person, a saint, or an event. Occasionally it is reversed. A child is named after a city or place. We now see traditional or classic children's names being replaced with trendier names, less connected to something. Neighborhoods and streets are sometimes named after an influential person in the community. Schools, business, theories, movements, etc., often named after people, typically the person who was the first in the domain, exactly, or who inspired the domain. So you already kind of have your answer in the question. It has to do with principality. It has to do with the idea of becoming the head of something, becoming the origin, the head. These things are very much related, and so the origin and the head of things is very related. And so it's like the point that unites certain. So imagine it's like you have a point that unites certain things together, and you want, especially if you name something based on a founder or someone who's important in a field, you realize that that person becomes like an axis around that field turns. And so you want to name a laboratory after an important scientist or some cure or whatever, you know, because you realize that that person is already a point of culmination of meaning in being an origin of a field or something like that. Now, in terms of naming cities after people, it mostly has to do with a kind of recognizing of that which we model, right? We model these people, and so we name things after those that we model, and that is actually how principality works. That's how these heads and bodies that kind of lay up, that layer themselves in the world, that's how it functions. So I hope that makes sense. And the idea that right now people are naming their kids after like meaningless names, that they try to find the most random thing to like name their names, or just sounds that sound nice. Yeah, that's a nice sign of breakdown. If you want to know, it's like it means that we have nothing that we all look towards, nothing that we all look to, you know. So you can imagine it like, even let's say in terms of a smaller scale, the idea of like naming someone after your father, or naming someone after your mother, naming one of your kids after your father. You know, that's the kind of thing where it creates this line of, or this order of principality, and it binds you together closer. It creates cohesion. It actually works that way.